You guys, something has happened. Nike has made Kaepernick the face of Nike. You hear that, Yoshi? We're not wearing Nike anymore. No more Nike for us. You see this check mark? Yeah, we're burning it. Those are out. This is Nike. This is gone. These pink shorts, I see the check mark. This is trash. We are burning this because Nike hates America. Everybody got their lighters? Burn! Burn it all! Hey guys, my name's McDaniel and welcome to my channel. My thoughts will probably offend you, and if you haven't heard yet, then I am here to tell you that Mr. Kaepernick is the face of Nike, and apparently this is a very big deal for all of us. So people are so pissed that there is now a boycott on Nike, and people are even burning their Nike merchandise that they already bought with their money.
Oh, hi, this is John, and hashtag burn your Nike gear. I'm gonna throw them in the trash because that's where this junk belongs.
I might buy some Adidas. You know how many other sneakers there are to buy, choose from? You're gonna go ahead and say, hey, buy them our shoes. We stand with people who kneel for the national anthem. Well, sorry Nike, I've been buying you for the past 20 plus years. Not anymore. Not only am I burning my favorite pair of Nikes, you are burning your sales.
Pair of Nike shoes, so everybody to see. Throwing this in the fire because Colin Kaepernick is now the face of Nike. Take this, Nike. Pair I just bought 3 days ago. There's 5 pairs of shoes in there, all gonna let them burn. Because Nike decided to make Colin Kaepernick their ambassador when he doesn't share the same opinions as the people.
Sorry, I mean, boycott however you want. I just didn't know that's how you do it. So some people are very upset that Kaepernick is the face of Nike, and some people are extremely happy that he is the face of the company. And I'm sure my subscribers are wondering, where do I fall in to this? Well, unfortunately for you guys, I fall into the group that really doesn't give a because whoever has made the face of Nike doesn't personally affect me, but likes to sit back and read all the comments of angry people that it apparently does. So what we are gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be reading some comments from people that left comments about Nike on my page, on the Nike page, just things that I found that I thought were really funny. And I'm also going to give you guys my opinion on the whole Kaepernick situation, the whole kneeling thing, racial issues, and what I think about, Nike. Pretty much what my opinion is, being that I grew up in the NFL family. And look at that, I just happen to be black. So I thought, as a woman, as a black female, and someone that grew up in the NFL family, and I do try to be very level-headed, look at everyone's point of view, and give my honest, unbiased opinion about the topic, rather than I see a lot of people who are just very extreme on one side or extreme on this side, and it's like, I want you guys to hear it from someone who's not very crazy. I mean, I'm crazy, don't get me wrong, I am crazy, but I'm not, extremist here, extremist there. I'll give you guys, a very civil opinion so that not everyone can think that everybody is either super crazy for Kaepernick or super crazy for not Kaepernick. Okay, so let's just jump right into these comments and see what people are saying about this very important situation. Stupid, worthless piece of junk company. I've gotta burn my shoes. They are ugly anyways. Worst mistake ever. Returning all my Nike, going to Adidas. Hashtag boycott Nike. Myself and my family of 5 will no longer wear this brand. I'll never support someone who chooses to divide this country more and disrespect the flag/troops that allow his cushy lifestyle. Yeah, Cap, you are really oppressed. Bye-bye, Nike. I love my flag and all it stands for. Are these the same patriots that said nothing when a certain person said John McCain wasn't a hero? Gasp. I surely hope not. Ooh, pause the video, hold on. Who here thinks that chick has a point? Never buying Nike crap again. Just lost another longtime customer and follower. Buy at Nike. Nike ... We hate cops. Never buy another product. Never. Burn Nike. We switched to Skechers, much more comfortable for our old feet. When Nike stops running the sweatshops in foreign countries and exploiting the workers, maybe I will consider them again. And then someone comes over and says, they are made in the same factories. They are. So I ended up posting this meme on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know and you saw all the comments, but I just posted this meme that Nike really doesn't care if you're burning the products that you paid for. They already have your money. So the whole burning thing was hilarious. So I posted that on Instagram and on Facebook, and this dude went ape. So Mr. Rodriguez here, CEO and sales director at Warrior Capital, INV, and Solar, confidently states, Nike and anybody who doesn't agree are nothing but piece of un-American trash. Get out of America. Kaepernick, satanic garbage. I had to yell that because it was in all caps. So one of my friends gets on there and says, easy there, duck face. Our charmer comes on back and says, interesting how brainwashed and stupid many black are to protect Nike. Idiots! Because you are brainwashed by the Democratic Party and your liberals of period were you black idiots not even sticking up for your country and stand by American leadership protecting the soldiers. But you, I've never heard of that word before, but that's what it says. Fools, capitalized, standing by a piece of scumbag like Kaepernick. You people are fools of unpatriotic garbage. And he comes back. No one's really responding to him, but he keeps on coming. Nike is for lowlives of un-American trash. Kaepernick lover, pack your bags, get off welfare, food stamps, and Section 8, and move out of the country. My girl goes, it's a brand. Calm down. Man, to have that much anger over that meme is intense. So as you can see, this is a very sensitive topic. People are very passionate about, what they think about it, whether they like Kaepernick, whether they don't like Kaepernick. I feel like it's very extreme, and I just kind of want to give my opinion on it because I'm pretty level-headed, and I try not to be just so pro one side, okay? First, I think it's important that we answer why Kaepernick kneeled in the first place. Like, what was he protesting, or what was he trying to say when he kneeled? Because when it happened, I was hearing so many different reasons why he knelt down, and I don't think a lot of people even knew the reason. I know I didn't know the reason. I didn't know who he was. Just saying. I watch anime. He knelt down because he hates America. He said all white people are racist. He doesn't respect our flag. So first, I think it's important that we learn why Kaepernick did that signature, kneeling during the national anthem. So I don't know how true these articles are, but I read through a ton of different articles, and most of them said the same thing, and it looks like, what I can conclude is that Kaepernick was doing a silent protest during the national anthem to speak out against police brutality and how African Americans are treated differently here in America. Kaepernick says, I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. So he's not just saying solely black people, he's saying everybody of color. Indians, Mexicans, Spanish folks, Middle Easterns, everybody that got a little tint in their skin. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid, leave and getting away with murder, and in that, he's talking about police officers who, you guys have seen the headlines, who kill people, and it's usually people of color that make these headlines, and I'll get into that a little bit later, and leave them in the streets to die. At first, Kaepernick simply sat on the bench during the U.S. national anthem during a preseason game. He later transitioned to taking a knee in protest, saying he was doing so to show more respect for military veterans, which turned out to be the much more iconic pose. So it says here in Independent that the kneeling thing, Kaepernick's silent protest, kind of morphed into a, slap in the face toward Donald Trump, because Donald Trump decided to speak on Kaepernick's silent protest. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, "Get that son of a off the field right now. Out. He's fired. He's fired." I think when President Trump decided to weigh in on the topic, that's when it really blew up. I'm not too sure. Just gonna say that I noticed more people getting an opinion about it after President Trump decided to speak on it, and I will get to that a little bit later. And I'm also going to say that I think he just sees them being treated differently as a whole, and probably in the NFL, at other jobs, walking around society, whatever, they're just treated differently. That's what I'm going to get from it, and I'm sure that there are people, the black people, saying, "How dare you not know what he was standing for?" Listen, okay, I watched SpongeBob. Y'all are too dramatic with some stuff, and SpongeBob, the boy's extra, but I enjoy it. So I try to stay away from the real life drama and get into the SpongeBob drama. But like I said, I want to give my opinion from someone who's really not into all of, that stuff, and someone who also grew up in the NFL family. So let's talk about racism. So racism definitely still exists in 2018, but just like racism exists, I feel like people take that, black people take that, and they play with it too much. Like everything is because so-and-so is racist, like they overuse that card. There has been times that I've been treated differently because of my skin. Now keep in mind, I am a black, light-skinned female. It's different if you are a dark-skinned person, and it's very different if you are a dark-skinned male. I have cousins who are very dark-skinned, and we would just be driving, in a suburban neighborhood. They have a very nice car, and we would be doing absolutely nothing wrong. Guys, like I said, my bedtime's 9 o'clock, I watch SpongeBob. Nothing suspicious is happening over here. I don't fool around. So I'll just be with my cousin, we'll be in a suburban neighborhood, and all of a sudden, for absolutely no reason. Or I remember when we were little at the park, and when I say little, like 15, and my cousins I lived in the suburbs, my cousins would be around, or we would have a group of friends around at the park, and someone would put in a call, like there's a bunch of black people at the park, and I don't think they belong. Why would they call on a bunch of 15-year-old kids? We were like swinging. I really do think it's just people not really knowing. They're not part of that world. So for example, I have friends that are white as hell start dating somebody that is black as hell, and they start dating them, they get married, they have kids, and they say, "Michelle, I was one of those people that thought there was no such thing as racism. I didn't know what black people were talking about. Like, black people don't get treated different. It's 2018, come on, we're all, the same on the inside." But until I married a black man and had black kids, I had no clue that you guys got treated differently. And like I said, I think people really, play up that race card way too much, but it is so different. It's so heartbreaking, so it's almost nauseating when you can tell when someone is doing something or being a jerk to you because of the color of your skin. It's very like nauseating and just cringing. And it hasn't happened to me very often, but when it does, it's just such a weird, like tingly, not really settling feeling when someone's treating you that way just purely because of your skin. Okay, so let's talk about the NFL. So I was in the NFL family as a child, very, very young, and I would pick up on racial things that would happen within the NFL as a little kid. Not because my parents were walking around saying, oh, white people this, racist this. They didn't talk like that around me. So things do happen racially within the NFL, but as it does with any other job. That I picked up on my own, and I've never been one of those people that were like, oh, it's because they're black. There's just things that happen where you're just like, so I do hear a lot of people saying, oh, Kaepernick is privileged himself. How dare he talk about how people are treated differently or how people are struggling when he's had, I guess, I actually haven't checked this out, but I guess he had a really great upbringing. He didn't really struggle. And being that I am black and that I had a very great upbringing myself, guys, NFL money is amazing. We had a great childhood. We went to Disney World a couple of times, weeks on end. I had a bomb childhood. Not gonna lie, to have money is great, but that does not mean that you aren't gonna be treated differently because of the color of your skin. The color of your skin is the color of your skin, and if someone doesn't like black people, they don't care how much money you have. You're still black. Just because you are a privileged black person that has money doesn't mean that you can't speak up about, you know, certain things that happen racially. And I just want to put this out there, but I personally don't feel like I'm oppressed. I personally don't think that I can't be successful because of the color of my skin. I mean, I personally think that being black is all the rage right now in the year 2018, but I just wanted to say, because I see a lot of people with some of my videos, they want to tell me that I am oppressed, and I personally don't think that I'm oppressed. I think I can be a very successful person. I have the drive and the personality to be successful, and I don't think my skin holds me back at all. I haven't experienced so much racism. You know, the way that that people make it look, it looks like everybody's just racist, and I personally do not feel like that. I feel like I just said personally about 12 times. How many times did I say it? A lot. But I don't feel like I get discriminated against. Usually never. There's been times that yes, it has happened, but I did want to put that out there that I do not feel that I get discriminated against. I don't feel like that I have never gotten a job because of the color of my skin. But I do know people that has been the case, and I do know people that they didn't, let's just use that as an example, did not get a job, and then they said it's because they're black, and no, it's not because you're black. I have family members that use that black card that don't have a job, and they say, oh, it's because I'm black. No. I wouldn't hire you. And it's not because you're black. It's because you have a very horrible work ethic and a sucky, negative personality. And that's what I'm talking about, people using this race card to try and justify why their life sucks. So another thing I found very interesting with all of this is that when, you know how Black Lives Matter, a lot of those protests or the riots that were going on, people got a little crazy, you know, beating people up, breaking into businesses, stealing things, probably killing people, I think. And I saw a lot of people saying, you know, why can't they have a peaceful, you know, protest? And here we have a football player using his platform to peacefully protest, and then everybody loses their You guys, we do live in a country that believes in freedom of speech. Honestly, when I heard that some football player was kneeling, I didn't know who he was. Like I said, I watched SpongeBob. But everybody was making a big deal out of it, and I was kind of not understanding, because at my grandfather's funeral, who was in the military, and I remember, you know, as a little girl, I remember people kneeling. So I didn't understand what was going on. Like, why was it a big deal? So I would ask people, so did he step on the flag? Did he spit on the flag? Did he like rip the flag apart? Did he burn the flag? Did he say, you America? I mean, just to put that much energy into something that really didn't have to be that big of a deal. It seems a little extra, and I usually love extra. You know, and I feel like it's not that big of a deal, but okay, it's kind of a little conspiracy-ish. But I have a couple conspiracies as to why people are acting like this. One, first of all, the media, which is controlled by not that many people, play a huge part in how you act. They are totally playing people and making them feel the way they want these people to feel, which is mad, and have these certain people feel happy, thus causing this forever division between us Americans. The media loves to play out mediocre stories, get celebrities or presidents to say statements about the subject to get the public invested in the game. Take control of your emotions, shall we say. They want you to feel a certain way. They get a certain amount of people to feel a certain way, and the media just sits back and watches us Americans freak out and act like little 12-year-olds over something that is extremely trivial. I don't know if you guys are into conspiracies, but I call them truthies. Yes, it's a word. But you guys know, if you've been watching me for a while, I have endometriosis, so I get super bored when I'm in bed for 2 days straight and I watch a bunch of conspiracy videos. And before, they were just kind of like, meh, and then I got deeper and deeper into them. And then the other thing is, being a personal trainer, while I was in San Diego, I never worked with high profile people, but I worked with people who worked with high profile people, who owned, you know, clubs or restaurants that these high profile people would go to, and they would hire these people to, you know, make their business more relevant. And I would normally train the wives. And I don't know if you guys have had personal trainers, but usually, like, at least with my clients, we get very close. It's kind of like a therapy session sometimes. And the wives would tell me some things, and I would put, you know, that together and what they said together, and in this video they said that, and I would just kind of bring it all together and think about it and be like, there's got to be some kind of truth to that. So I really just wanted to make myself into an American that wasn't very easily controlled, you know, mentally. And when something gets plastered up, you know, on the news, and, you know, everyone's talking about it and this, that, and the other thing, I really take a step back and think, is this really something that I need to just blow up about and get extremely upset? Does it really need that much energy? Just a little mini quick story about when I was about 15, hated the world, blamed everything that happened to me on everybody else. And I was probably at my 4th new school. I was pretty ticked off that I was the new girl once again, had to start over with all my friends, blah, blah, blah. Pissed off, hated everyone. Well, one day, I can't remember what happened that year. It was something, once again, in the news. Some black guy got shot, and, you know, the media uproared it, and all the black people were upset. So all the black people, the 15-year-olds at this school, got together and they said, on Wednesday, we aren't standing during the Pledge of Allegiance to show that America doesn't apply what it says to us brothers and sisters. And I said, cool, I'm all down for causing a ruckus. I hate everything anyway. So why not start some? So that day in Spanish class, I heard the announcement come on. They said, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I said, this is it. I'm not gonna stand during the Pledge of Allegiance, and my teacher is gonna have a heart attack, and I'm gonna give it to her. I'm gonna give her the biggest speech about how this school does not care about us black people. Ooh, watch me throw it down on Miss, I don't remember her name, but I was ready to blame everybody about, I don't even know what I was gonna blame them about. So the announcer says, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody stands except for me. And my teacher turns and looks at me. I look at her dead in the eye, and she goes, she gave absolutely zero. She did not care. She did not start anything. She just let me do my dumb little thing and went on to class. And that was that. And I was sitting there ready for a fight, like, she didn't give me any attention, but could you imagine if she did? Then it would be a huge uproar. So if a lot of you didn't give Mr. Kaepernick any of this attention, none of this would be happening. But y'all had to be extra. Now he's the face of Nike. By the way, other companies supposedly gave him offers, so people saying they're going to wear other athletic clothes, they did the same thing, but Kaepernick chose Nike. So he's the face of the company. According to Charles Robinson, it's a wide endorsement. He's going to have his own branded line, shoes, shirts, jerseys, and more. And these grown, middle-aged men are left burning their clothes, cutting logos off their socks that they bought, and throwing tantrums on Facebook, claiming that they're never going to buy Nike again, when we all know damn well in about a month, don't forget about this, when the next event comes up that the media told you to be upset about, as they complain about whatever that event is in their Nike socks that they just bought. Do you guys remember all the SJWs during the election saying that they were gonna leave the country because Trump was president? And yet, about all of them that I saw saying that they were gonna leave this country are still here. So in conclusion, I feel like I'm back in school. Yuck. My thoughts are, if a grown man wants to have a silent protest and kneel, I'm all for it because it's America. Like a lot of the commenters said on the Nike post, it's freedom of speech. I also think if people want to talk about how they don't like the fact that a football player decided to kneel during the national anthem, they completely have the right to do that as well. Because once again, it's freedom of speech, and that's what's great about America. We all can say what we think, but just remember there are always consequences. Also, one thing that is kind of irritating about Nike making Kaepernick the face of the company is that now if you wear Nike, people are going to automatically think that you side with Kaepernick. I wore Nike the other day and someone asked like, oh, so you're for Kaepernick, and I'm just in line at the grocery store. So that kind of sucks that now people are going to relate you wearing Nike as in, you know, if you wear Nike, you're making a political statement that you are for Kaepernick. Me wearing Nike doesn't equal me taking a political stance. It just means I think it looks cute and the pants probably make me look like I have a fat. Also, something else, Nike is not stupid. I personally do not think that they agree with Kaepernick, but they somehow see that this is a very good business move, and so this is why they're doing that. People keep saying that they're taking a political stance. Yeah, technically they are with that odd statement that they put in front of Kaepernick's face, but I personally don't think they're all gung-ho, you know, with Kaepernick. I'm pretty sure it's a business move. Nike is a very big business. They make business moves. But once again, I don't really care. I'm not on anyone's side. I watch SpongeBob. But everyone who is invested into this Kaepernick issue, y'all keep doing your thing, and I'll be in the corner reading those comments. But I do want to hear your guys' opinion. What do you think of Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem? How does Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem directly affect you? Why exactly are you upset about the whole situation? And lastly, do y'all really buy Nike on a regular basis? Because that stuff is expensive. In the end, I will still wear whatever cheap activewear I find at Ross, being Nike, Adidas, whatever, and think nothing of it. And on that note, I will see you guys next video. Looking forward to all of your comments.
So Nike's going to make Colin Kaepernick from the San Francisco 79ers the new face of their campaign, all because he likes to take a little knee during the national anthem. And that pisses me off. You know, he didn't sacrifice nothing. All he did was use his celebrity status to shine light on an injustice in our world, all while doing it in a peaceful and non-violent way. And I've chosen to take that message and completely misinterpret it, you know, because he's disrespecting the flag. That's what he's doing. He's disrespecting the troops too. You know, remember the troops? We send them off to war and they come home and we forget about them. You know, what more could you want? You know, maybe adequate physical and mental health care to lead a happy and fulfilled life. But at least we stand during the national anthem to show that they're heroes, you know, at least we do that.